Howard tees it up at the 40, puts down his left arm and puts a boot to the ball. This is kind of a nubbing kick. Walker fields it and went out of bounds.
Howard's very fortunate because it looked like that ball was sailing out of bounds.
That was a curious decision. He caught it. Walker did, that is, at about his own 5 and then walked out of bounds. The ball was going out of bounds. So he just cost him about 35 yards of field position. So the Dragons will be backed up at their own 5-yard line to start this drive. 4:54 to go.
And everybody on the Dragons sideline has their head down. This is a tough part of the game here for the Dragons, as
they've certainly fought hard tonight.
Valiant effort for sure.
They only had 24 guys suited up for this game. Had a few guys go down during the game. So we'll see what Walton can dial up here.
1st and 10 now for the Dragons.
1st and 10 for the Dragons. Walton going to drop back, throws it up, middle of the field, deflected, and it is intercepted again. It's Vince Sellers again. He's redeeming himself. He cuts inside the 10-5, touchdown, Vince Sellers.
There's a flag on the play, though, Ian. I'm not sure.
There's a flag. An extracurricular activity there. Another flag comes in.
Well, number 70 is definitely going to get the second flag.
C.J. Wilson threw a little shove there.
He looked like he cocked back ready to throw a punch, and the referee saw it. But what? That interception return by Sellers was into a 2nd and 3rd gear, which was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's looked very impressive. Only a freshman. Looks impressive as both a defensive back and a running back. Perhaps maybe ball security, the only thing he needs to work on, but he's certainly going to make an impact this season.
I'm not sure if that interception for a touchdown is going to count. Looked like the flags were thrown after the interception, so I think regardless if the Cougars' touchdown gets wiped off the board, the interception should still stand, and we may have offsetting penalties after the run. But we'll have to see as the officials are huddled up.
Been a busy crew tonight. This will be interesting. The Cougar defense did not score 2 touchdowns in a game all of last year, and they might have scored 3 here tonight.
And they could outscore the Cougar offense tonight.
They certainly could. This would be the 3rd Cougar defensive touchdown if the play stands. Also be the 2nd interception for Vince Sellers if the play stands. Sean Morris and Clark Horn both with defensive touchdowns tonight. As they figure this out, let us quickly pause for 10 seconds for station ID.
Your exclusive home for Cardinal Mooney football is right here on 106.9 FM, 1220 AM, WSRQ.
Okay, there's an illegal block there on the return, so the Cougar touchdown will get wiped off the board. The personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct on number 70, C.J. Wilson, has been ejected from the game, and he's being restrained here by his teammates here. He's getting his helmet and going off the field. So it looks like the illegal block will be marched off for the Cougars, and then the 15 yards will be added after that, and the ball will pretty much be exactly where it was.
So the interception will stand, though.
And the Cougars will have the ball, it looks like, on the 5-yard line.
You can understand the frustration, but it's just unnecessary. And I think at that point in the game, for Wilson to be thrown out, it's appropriate.
Yes, it is, and give the Cougars credit for not retaliating.
Absolutely.
I mean, unfortunately, it was an illegal block that wiped down the touchdown, but that could have got pretty ugly the way the Dragons were frustrated at the end of that play.
So 2 interceptions for Sellers on the night. It will stand. You know, earlier, too, Deuce, there was a play where Leach was hit late out of bounds. Upset about it. But good job by Mitch Aramura trying to get in between him.
Yep.
And being a smart guy and not letting anything escalate out of it.
And that just shows leadership that we've talked about, Ian, that maybe lacked it sometimes last year when the Cougars were struggling and going through some defeats and some losses week in and week out. This year, it just seems like it's a more mature team. It seems like these leaders and these captains are really stepping up and taking the leadership role of this coaching staff. And it shows in games like this and situations like this. There's been a lot less unsportsmanlike conduct calls and a lot less late hits and just silly penalties. And it's nice to see because those are the things that are going to make and break your season as it comes down to crunch time when it comes to district games and hopefully into the playoffs, where these Cougars are hoping and planning to be.
So 4:43 on the clock, and it looks like Jason Holden is looking for an explanation. She's having a chat with the officials. So the Cougar offense is back out. See if they give it off to Sellers again, see if he can try to punch it in.
I'd like to give another shout out to buddy down in Clearwater, Florida, Dunedin, Florida. Larry Gonzalez is listening in and cheering on Cougar football as he just sent a text saying, "Go Cougars." We got to love that support by Mr. Larry Gonzalez.
Got fans in Pinellas County. We'll be back there to take on St. Pete Catholic. And when's that game? That's in about a month. A little less than a month. So Vita comes out in the shotgun. They go 4 wideouts. Handoff is to Patterson. DeMondre Patterson pokes through. He's into the touchdown. 3 touchdowns for DeMondre Patterson. And the Cougars now up 37-7.
And that play, Jacob Jessup, the backup quarterback, was in. And that's a smart play there by Smithers, making sure his blue chip player, Reese Vita, wasn't on the field for any silly stuff. So it looks like Reese Vita's night is over.
So smart as well, I would say. So Blake Young will come on to attempt the extra point.
We should have a running clock pretty soon.
This will make it 37-7.
On the extra point attempt.
And late substitution here for the Cougars on the kicking team. And the play is blown dead.
Flag on the play. Offside on the
And it's
defense.
just starting to drag with an offsides on the Dragons defense as both teams are kind of getting sloppy as the Cougars are waiting for their post-game meal and getting that bus fired up and taking this hour and 40-minute bus ride back to Cougar Country in Sarasota.
Should be a good one. So they will get the extra point attempt on here now. Young
There's the kick.
connects on the extra point.
That's
It's good. So with 4:38, it's now 44-7. They're gonna look up at the scoreboard.
Scoreboard operators
slow.
a little slow.
I've lost track with the interception touchdown, then it wasn't a touchdown, et cetera, et cetera. There they go. 44-7 is now the score.
And hopefully maybe they can
Come on down to Cal Pie
keep that clock
for a third
running
treat.
so we can
Show your
get on the
tickets
bus
up for a 10%
and
discount.
enjoy it with the
Go
fellas and
Dragons.
Coach Smithers and coaching staff, and should be a fun bus
And
ride
stop
home.
over at the Wendy's. After the game, enjoy 2 cheeseburgers
So it's a
for $1.50
37-point Cougar